Hello everyone and welcome to Malaga, Spain. In this episode we will visit the town of Malaga in the south of Spain. We will stay at a small hotel close to the city center. It was not the best hotel we have stayed in, but the room was clean but very boring. But one of the upsides was this wonderful rooftop pool with a really nice view over the Malaga's port and town. We did choose the hotel because of the location. It takes about 10 minutes for us to walk to the beach, 10 minutes to walk to the marina, and 10 minutes walk into the city center. Malaga is the main town in the area of Andalusia and has about 550,000 inhabitants in the main city area. After a really long day of traveling with some delays on the flights, we headed to a restaurant nearby to enjoy a little dinner before it was time for us to head back to the hotel to get a good night's sleep. We did woke up quite early the next morning and headed down to the marina again and really embraced this wonderful Mediterranean weather. We had about 18 degrees in the morning and it was completely empty of people comparing to the last evening. We went into the central of Malaga city and it was really enjoyable to just stroll around to enjoy the different buildings and the calmness before the town wake up. Just beside our hotel we have this mountain with an old fortress with this stunning view over the town. The purpose of this journey is just to get away and relax and get some sun. We really enjoy to just stroll around in the town and then explore with no destination. Just stroll around in narrow alleys and enjoy the different sceneries that are provided with small shops, restaurants, and really nice architecture. The food scene here is really wonderful. Lots of small restaurants, bigger restaurants, and places to sit out and enjoy and people watching. Here we walk on the main street where they have lots of different shops and fancy boutiques if you want to spend some money. One of our favorite spots here was the Soho area, just situated beside the harbor. During our stay, it was lots of artists that have their different art crafts for sale, and we actually bought some nice things to bring home. One of the bigger apartment stores in Spain is Corte Inglés, and of course we have to go here and look if we can find something to buy. They have a really nice rooftop terrace where we enjoyed some nice lunch with a wonderful view and some nice things in the glass and the plates. After just strolling around and explore the town and get familiar with the areas, it was time for us to head back to the hotel and enjoy a little relaxation at the pool before it was time for dinner. Note that in Spain and lots of Mediterranean countries, the restaurant don't open until 7 or 8 in the evening. So for us as Swedes, it was quite late dinner. But before dinner, we took a nice stroll along the harbor area that really live up during the evening and day. When we are in new towns, we use TripAdvisor and the Fork to get great deals of restaurants and even tips of smaller restaurants that are not so well known. But this evening we used the discount on the Fork on the Lola restaurant with a wonderful view over the harbor. It's a fine dining restaurant and the service and food was really excellent. And who can complain over the wonderful view? After lots of food and nice beverages, it has become dark and it was time for us to say goodnight. We actually did not choose to have breakfast at the hotel. Instead, we want to eat at the local bakeries and cafes that are close by. So we started off in the morning and then took a nice long walk along the beach side. The walk later took us into the heart of Malaga city again, and now we actually had a destination. We wanted to visit Mercado, the market hall in the old part of the city. Here, both tourists and locals are gathering, both to look at all the wonderful food that are sold here, but also purchase something nice to have for dinner or lunch. There are also lots of places to eat and try out this wonderful selection of local produced products. After an hour or so in the Mercado, we headed to the main train station. It's a little bit further out on the other side of town, but it's also nice to stroll in different area we haven't walked in. Here you have local trains and regional trains. Just 10 minutes away from the central station and close to the airport, you have this big outlet area with lots of different boutiques and shops where you can both eat and shop at the same time. It's an open air shopping area which is really nice. Here you have the big international brands, but also some designer boutiques in this small shopping town. Of course, you get hungry when you are shopping. So after lunch, it was time for us to head back with our bags into the town. We just ran across this nice brewery that we actually wanted to try out some local beers. After all, we are at vacation, so why not have some beer tasting in the afternoon? If you go by cruise to Malaga, you will be dropped off here with a shuttle bus from the harbor and the cruise ships. This small tunnel is very nice and connect our part of the town to the city center. And they actually were playing music in the tunnel, so it was fairly nice to walk here, even if it was quite a lot of car traffic. We took a stroll in the evening into the city center for something to eat. And if you have seen YouTubers before, El Papis is one of the top restaurants that you see on YouTube that you have to visit. It's a fairly small bar area, but you can have nice bites and beverages here in a very Spanish atmosphere. It's not the right place if you want to have a calm dinner, but it is surely an experience that I should recommend you to visit if you are here. As I mentioned before, dinner starts around 8 here in Malaga, when it's a little bit cooler outside than the Mediterranean heat. And this town really bustling, with lots of people out eating and just enjoying their company. We strolled back towards our hotel, but we did stop at some different bars and just take something to drink and enjoy this wonderful Mediterranean evening. And close by our hotel, you find this wonderful small restaurant and bar, just located by the roundabout. It's a quite heavily trafficked area, but it's really nice to sit here and enjoy. A good start of the morning will get a good start of the rest of the day. We enjoyed this wonderful breakfast by the harbor side and look at the different cruise ships that were arriving this morning. We packed our swimming trousers and headed for a beach day. We walked along the coastline for about 1.5 hours and really enjoyed this wonderful morning sun and the wonderful view over the sea. Because of the location, Malaga is very famous for the seafood. And we enjoyed this little area outside where it was quite touristy, but not so touristy, if you know what I mean. It was quite few people, so we had almost the beach to ourselves when we enjoyed a dip in the Mediterranean Sea. After a few hours by the beach, we got hungry, so we headed to one of the small restaurants in the area. This is very typical for this area of Spain, to grill the fresh fish by the beach in front of you, and then get served this delicacy with a wonderful view. We can highly recommend you to visit here and just soak in the wonderful atmosphere. Even if about 4,000 cruise passenger has left town, it's still hustling and bustling, and the town is really living up during the evening. That's one thing as a cruise passenger, that you miss the nightlife and the evening in the different cities you are visiting during a cruise. Now we are visiting this bodega that is very famous and all YouTubers are visiting here. We did go in there, but we didn't feel it was a place for us. So we find this other place instead. A hidden gem with local produced wines, and the service was really excellent. Later on, we went a block away and found this wonderful restaurant by this little square where we enjoyed a really nice meal outside al fresco. I couldn't resist not film this dance class under the stars outside during the evening. What a wonderful way to end an evening. Rise and shine, early morning walk, and the destination is somewhere to eat a breakfast. Food prices is quite affordable and priceworthy if you compare to home in Sweden, while the beverages is actually very cheap. We took a stroll in the market hall or Mercado again to purchase some snacks before we will head to the beach later during the day. Sometimes I'm really sad that we are not having a kitchen when we are abroad to purchase lots of these different foods and prepare together at home. About 25 degrees Celsius or 77 Fahrenheit was the weather conditions for us during this beach day. Just relax, enjoy our company is well deserved during the vacation. I think so anyway. The city is actually very beautiful with lots of different parks and it's very clean. You can actually get a quite heavy fine if you don't pick up your dog poop after you if you have a dog. With this wonderful view, we have actually pre-booked this restaurant from home. It's a fine dining restaurant with different textures and locally sourced products. It was a really enjoyable meal. We can highly recommend this restaurant if you are in Malaga, just 10 minutes walk from the city center. A quick breakfast at a local cafe. It was cheap, friendly, and efficient. And we continue the morning with a nice walk by the old bullfighting arena that are situated just one block away from our hotel. This is the final day of our visit. So we just stroll around by the harbor front again and continue into the old town. in the city center. We just can't get enough of this wonderful architecture, the small narrow alleys or these big shopping streets, the small boutiques and restaurants and bars, and these little small squares that are embedded in the surrounding housing areas. We are very fascinated about how clean this city is, even if it's lots of tourists and people moving around. And we always feel safe wherever we go. We haven't filmed everything, but we ate some tapas and we ate some tapas and some tapas with a glass of wine or local beer. One thing that we didn't visit was the Picasso Museum. Picasso was actually born here in Malaga, and as you see, it's a quite long line, and we are not really into his type of art. Instead, we headed to this wonderful tapas restaurant to enjoy some delicious tapas as lunch. We have walked and walked and walked, but it has been a pleasure to see this town. Everything from absolutely tourist area to smaller local areas. After a wonderful evening promenade along the harbor and seafront, we find a really nice restaurant to enjoy our last evening here. Stuffed like Christmas turkey after this meal, it was time for us to head back to the hotel to start packing for our journey home tomorrow. We really hope you liked this Malaga video and maybe get inspired to visit here sometime. Worth mention is that all our videos and journeys are self-funded and not sponsored by any company. Early morning and the Uber was picked us up and a short journey of 50 minutes to the airport. Hope to see you in the next video and see you